how to take care of this beautiful plant known as Pilea Mollis, the frenzy plant, or even better, the Moon Valley plant. It's called this way because the texture of the leaves reminds kind of the moon texture, so it has a really special kind of meaning and style to it. I would actually recommend this plant to everyone because it is really easy to take care of. It's straightforward and it will survive. It is beautiful, it can make your place more unique, and you can brag to everyone that doesn't know about plants and prices that this one is a rare one, because it could be a really expensive plant because of its looks. So let's get started as always with lighting. This plant is just like every houseplant out there. We need bright indirect light in order to avoid getting it leggy, meaning getting long stems without leaves. If you want it to stay kind of compact, like this one, like a piano fell on it, well, you need bright light. If the light is not enough, then you will see that the growth is getting longer. Now, for the sun, it can easily get burned, so avoid direct sun as much as possible and you are good to go with the lighting. No weird things, no special treatments. This thing just needs a lot of good filtered light. As I've said, this plant is really easy to take care of, but I might have actually forgotten to tell you about a weak point. Accidentally always, it is the temperatures. This thing has a weakness to the cold weather. It cannot withstand any cold temperatures. It needs to be in an environment of like 17 to 27, away from windows, doors, and even anything that provides a lot of heat, like fireplaces. Don't put it on the fireplace. I don't think if any plant will survive the fireplace. A great thing about this plant is actually that it belongs to the terrarium plants, meaning it loves humidity. You can use it in paludariums, terrariums. They say that it needs 50% and above of humidity. I will say that it doesn't, because if the watering is right, you can keep it in lower humidity levels as well. But still, it's great if you are into terrariums like me. This thing is a gem. It's precious, my precious. Also, if you would like to maybe connect it with some other plants in your mind so the care becomes easier, I would say that Phytonia's polka dot plants, the watermelon plant, all of these are similar to this one. The care is similar, the growth is similar, the way that they become leggy or wilt or mold or die. I would say that the lighting and the watering are the most crucial parts of these plants' care. Almost every plant's care. But if you get these two right, you won't have a problem with the rest, I believe. So, as I've said, this plant loves humidity, which means that it needs proper watering, or else you might run into some problems. Now, you can water it when it gets a little dry here, and it will be fine. Don't let it get too dry like a succulent or cactus, you will lose it. Now, I have here some gravel, and I actually don't water exactly the plant. I water the gravel and just let the roots here grow out of the pot and get the water that they need. So I just simply go ahead, put some water till it goes over the surface of the gravel and let it rest and absorb anything that it needs. If you want to water it the normal way, just avoid the leaves. I would not advise getting the leaves wet because of the texture. It might hold the water, it might create some mold, some problems. So just directly to the soil. By the way, the thing that I said with the gravel and everything, it's called bottom watering. You let the plant absorb from the bottom, the water, so this way you avoid any water on the leaves and everything. If you've already had some plants, by now you obviously know that the plain water is never enough. They need nutrients. The soil can provide some, but they get depleted, and we need to add the fertilizer in time. One thing that I would do differently with this one here when fertilizing is that even though I will use the same fertilizer as all the plants here, I will use less quantity of it because it can be a little sensitive to the fertilizer. Maybe the fertilizers are a bit harsh for it, so a little diluted fertilizer is the best way to go. So if you want to make your life easier, just water all the plants and just let a little of the solution at the bottom of your watering can, add some water, and you're ready to water it. You will never hear me say that a certain plant needs a certain watering schedule because there is a huge factor that can alter this. So never water your plant in time like every Tuesday or something because the medium, the substrate that you're using for your plant contains everything. So this plant here needs something that has a good drainage. We don't want the water to remain here, the oxygen will get depleted, and then the roots will start to die. Again, in less words, root rot. So avoid it. We need something with good drainage, loamy soil, it will work well, you can grow it I think in leca, in pond, in everything, just we need air in the medium that we are growing. And if you truly want to master the care of this beautiful Pilea Mollis, you might actually want to know that the pH that it prefers is slightly acidic, 5 to 6. And when you finally made it, you've passed the 1000 miles, 100 mountains, and all these trials that this plant has to offer, and eventually made it to get it root bound and ready to repot. Just don't go a lot bigger. Move one size of the pot each time. I prefer to let my plants get root bound, really root bound, before repotting them, because this way they tend to grow out of the pot, if you know what I mean. And this thing here will stay here like forever, no, but for at least 2 months. At least 2 months, and the roots are outside. But if you can see here, that you probably won't be able to see, it's not full roots. So even though you might have some roots getting out of the pot, they might just search for water and not really be root bound. And for the propagation, I can't really show you with this one because it's really flat. But if you have a Pilea that has a kind of stem, because I can see none in here, well, if it has a stem, you can cut it and propagate it. Just remove the lower leaves, and where these leaves were, the roots will form, and not the rest of the stem. But you need at least here, at least like this stem here, and it will root in water or soil. It's really easy going. And these things here that look like spread out broccoli sprouts, well, these are the flowers of this plant. And if you want to make it flower, you should provide the right care, as I've said in this video, but a lot of people hate them, bad reputation for them. But you can pinch them in order to promote more leaf growth, and that's not bad, but I will not do it because I want to let nature do its thing. If things get messy, I will pinch them, but still, I just let it have the glow of its life for now. I've given you the power of the Pilea Mollis. Go and grow it.